Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. I'm still playing catch up with some of the films that I missed over the past few weeks while I've been ill. And I finally caught up with a horror film which piqued my interest, which I missed at the cinema, but is now available streaming on Shudder. I think it's still showing late night screenings in some cinemas, so if you want to see it in the cinemas, it's still out there. It's called Late Night with the Devil. Late Night with the Devil is written, directed and edited by Colin and Cameron Cairns, and it stars David Dastmalchian, Laura Gordon, Ian Bliss, Faisal Bazi. Generally, it's not a starry cast apart from David Dastmalchian, who is an actor who I'm increasingly impressed by. I've seen him in a few different things now, and I think he's got potential to be one of those quirky actors, a bit Nicolas Cage-ish in the range of things that he does. I think he's got the potential to be slightly off the wall sort of movie star. So I'm quite interested in his films and the things he will do in the future. It's an interesting film in that it starts off as if it's a bit of a documentary about a 1970s chat show host called Jack Delroy, whose late night chat show, in the vein of like Johnny Carson and Conan O'Brien and all those sorts of people. He has a chat show called Night Owls with Jack Delroy, which has been quite successful in the late night slot. That's quite an interesting American TV phenomenon, by the way. The late night chat shows, which screen about 12 o'clock, or 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. You remember Late Night with James Corden, which ran for a few years. And these shows are huge things in America, even though I don't think they get incredible ratings, but they're a huge part of the American TV landscape, which is sort of unusual because we've never gone down that route over here. But in this fictional character, he's sort of slightly behind Johnny Carson in the ratings. He's popular, he does well, but he's never quite made it big. As the film starts, it's 1977 and it's Halloween, and we're told via almost like documentary type clips that Jack has gone off the rails a bit lately because his wife passed away from cancer, lung cancer, even though she never smoked. She passed away a few months before and he dropped off the radar a bit. But he's now back. His show is struggling though, and he and his production team have come up with an idea to do a Halloween special, which involves bringing in a medium, a skeptic, and a psychologist with her young patient. The film then becomes almost like a found footage film where it replays the videotape of the program itself and behind the scenes stuff that was sort of filmed during commercial breaks and so on. And it starts off very well in that respect because it does feel like those sorts of shows, if you've ever seen those sorts of shows. And the style of them hasn't really changed over the decades. It's got that sort of sassy sort of style with a bit of band and a foil for Jack to bounce off. And David Dastmalchian, it's a hard name to say, he plays that part really well in the smart suits and the glib talk and the back chat with the audience. You've got an audience there, so it's all done as if it is one of those sorts of chat shows. And as I said, the style of them, the way they're mounted, hasn't changed over all the years. As it carries on though, things go a little bit peculiar. First of all, he brings on board a medium who tries to make contact with the dead related to a member of the audience. He seems to make some sort of connection there. There's the skeptic, a conjurer who has previously debunked all this sort of stuff. He appears and he poo-poos it all. He poo-poos it's all nonsense, it's all smoke and mirrors, it's all tricks. And then Jack brings on his third guest, who is parapsychologist author June Ross Mitchell and her subject Lily Darbo, a young girl. Lily appears to be possessed at one point. Some sort of devilish entity seems to possess her and strange things start to happen. Then she comes out of the trance and things return to normal. Again, and in between all this we get commercial breaks. Things get a bit more tense as the production team don't quite know what's happening. And eventually things go completely nuts. The closest comparison I can give to this film, I think, if you've ever seen I think it was the 1991, I may be wrong on that, BBC Saturday Night Halloween transmission, Ghostwatch, which is a bit of legendary television, which is available on DVD and Blu-ray. It's never been repeated because there was so much controversy about it. This was a Ersatz documentary hosted by Michael Parkinson, which purported to be an investigation into the paranormal. You had contemporary reporters like Sarah Green, Craig Charles, who we know, of course, from Red Dwarf. They were sort of out and about reporters investigating phenomena. Part of it has a connection to the Enfield haunting story. Mr. Pipes is probably the most famous creation of that, and that became, it was mounted as a sort of studio investigation, which got stranger and stranger as things got more and more weird. This is similar, but it's ramped up a little bit. It's not played as if it's real in the way the Ghostwatch was. It is played as if it's the recording of a live TV transmission, and up to a point that works very well. But towards the end, of course, it goes nuts, and Lily becomes a very powerful entity in the studio, shall we say, and havoc ensues. It's no secret to say that havoc ensues. This is an interesting film, which I really enjoyed. It's quite short, an hour and a half. It's done very well. I think it loses that sense of being a real thing halfway through. It sort of suddenly starts to move in more modern narrative ways, but it's actually very well done. I think it's very atmospheric. It is, these sorts of supernatural things always have a certain creepiness to them. This idea of demons and demonic possession, that's sort of back in vogue at the moment, with things like the First Omen and Immaculate, and I think Imaginary. There's quite a few of these sort of low budget horror films that are playing back to these Exorcist Omen type things. This does it very well though. It does go over the top in the last reel, it has to be said. But things start getting, it's a sort of believable up to a point, and then I wouldn't say it goes too far, but it goes a bit more extreme. But it's very entertaining, it's very well done, it's very moody, and it's very evocative of the time period it's setting. And it is all held together by David Dastmalchian's quite charismatic performance. And we discover as the story sort of goes on that everything that's happening is sort of tied in to his connection to a secret men's club that he goes to, which turns out he's involved in satanic rituals and a pact which he himself may have made at one point. I won't say any more to spoil it, because I think it's a film, it's interesting to go in and just watch it, because it's not like your normal cinema blockbuster because of this whole style and tone of it. But it's very entertaining, very well done, and I had a good time watching it last night, and I recommend it. To say, it's in some cinemas now. Late Night with the Devil. You'll still find it in cinemas, late night screenings, and it is available from today on Shudder. And I'm going to give Late Night with the Devil, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10, because it is something a bit different, a bit unusual, a bit quirky, and it's well worth tracking down. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Just a little message for people who are maybe new here, or people who've been around for a while. There will be some changes coming to this channel very, very soon. I will say no more at the moment, but I frequently or occasionally have a little soft reboot of the channel and change a few things. But I'm going to I'm going to change things. I won't say any more at this stage, but I will just give you a clue. 400. And I'll leave it at that. Right, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff that I said earlier. I'll see you soon. Until I do, keep taking the stuff.